I think it's really important to observe that there are a number of different features of what's happened yesterday, what was announced yesterday in court. It really reflects what's occurred since the class action proceedings were commenced. So just to go through that really quickly, since the class action proceedings were commenced, there's been an agreement to refund some $720 million, some of which, or most of which, has already been repaid, and the balance is in the process of being repaid, and that will be concluded under the auspices of the settlement scheme. Secondly, there are just over 60,000 debts for about 50,000 people with a value of about $390 million, which are being zeroed out as a result of the class action settlement. And as you say, there's another $112 million in additional compensation payments to people. So overall, our clients, the lead applicants in the case who've fought this case very bravely and courageously for over a year now, are really satisfied the result overall provides a fair settlement. Of course, there's a recognition that money can never fully compensate for all of the hardship that people have been through. We've heard, thousands literally of stories of hardship. I think our clients are overwhelmingly pleased that they now have certainty, that the confusion and misinformation hopefully will stop now, and we'll get some clarity as the scheme rolls out, subject, of course, to the scrutiny of the court and the court's normal approval processes.
Well, that's another hurdle. The federal court still has to approve this settlement. Is there any risk of it not going ahead?
Well, of course, the court, it's not a rubber stamping process. The court takes its role to ensure that the settlement is in the best interests of group members very seriously, as it should. But it would be very unusual for the court not to approve a settlement that was agreed by the parties. We certainly believe that this settlement is well constructed and that it provides, on balance, the best achievable result the legal system itself can provide, which is, of course, different from saying that it can provide perfect justice. That's not possible, I'm afraid, in the context of legal proceedings. But we think this is a really well-balanced result. We're going to commend it to the court, as will the Commonwealth, who are a party to the settlement agreement. And we feel confident the court, upon consideration of it, will approve it. But of course, that's a matter for the court to decide after hearing evidence about it. And I know that the court will take that role very seriously, as it should.
Andrew, what happens next? There has been long-standing calls from Labor for a royal commission into this. Is that something that you would entertain, or is this settlement enough for your clients?
Look, I think one of our clients, Felicity, said it, I think, very eloquently this morning on the radio, that they feel vindicated by this result. I'm sure that's not a universal view amongst all group members. It's a very wide and diverse group, and of course there'll be differences of view about that. From our perspective, what's important is that the class action's been able to achieve what we hoped it would, in fact, more than we hoped it would. There are, of course, still questions that everyone would like to be answered. It's really now a matter for the government as to whether it wants to answer those questions or not. It's really not a matter for us.